Welcome to LEARNin Local Live, where real estate is local and every local business invests in their community.
Current inventory.
Hello and welcome to LEARNin Local Live. My name is Ruben Austria. I'll be your host for today's live community networking event. LEARNin Local Live is an educational real estate investing platform where we connect real estate investors with experienced real estate professionals to discuss real deals in real time. So for today's show, I thought I'd create something special because we are broadcasting back and focusing on Massachusetts properties. I am from the great state of Massachusetts, grew up in Quincy, Massachusetts. Want to show you quickly the origin story of how LEARNin Local Live came to be. Well, first of all, I just want to mention that we're here to educate, inspire, empower people to be real estate investors, whether you're new to real estate investing or whether you've done 100,000 investing properties. The goal is to make this useful information in order for help you to decide on your next investment. But really, LEARNin Local Live is not something new. It started off as something that I created in Quincy, Massachusetts. And before I really get into that, I want to show you something that I think you're going to enjoy. So check it out. Oh boy, brings back memories. But I started doing video, creating content for people back in 2007, our last downturn in the real estate market. And, for a while, I didn't do anything simply because there's just no way for me to go to people's offices, interview them, get their insight, get their expertise. But hey, technology's evolved and we're here. And, we're here to make it happen for you guys. So without further ado, how this works is that we actually find subject matter experts all over the nation to contribute to the production about real estate investing and find local partners in certain areas, in this case, Cambridge, Massachusetts, to discuss real available properties. The property that we have available is a hot 3-unit property in the city of Cambridge, Massachusetts, but we will get into that a little bit more. First off, I want to introduce a good friend of mine, supporter of the LEARNin Local Live vision and private lender out of the city of Los Angeles, Rafael Islam. Rafael, want to give you the stage really quick. Please introduce yourself and what you do for real estate investors.
Yeah, thanks, Ruben. I am a private money lender. We offer loans for commercial properties such as multifam and value add for multifam. So we do bridge financing and perm, and we're focusing more on the equity of the property and the value of the property. We're not looking for your tax returns or paycheck stubs. It's just cash flow of the specific property. And since we're talking about multifam, that's the asset class, and I'm doing anywhere from 2 to, 500 units. It doesn't make a difference.
Perfect. Well, hey, 2 or maybe 3. Rob, what about 3? What do you?
Or 3 for since it's today.
It's today. How about 3? Okay, perfect. Let's before we get into the program, as a member of LEARNin Local, as a continuing supporter, you get the ability to really kind of chop it up with me in terms of, multifamily investing. Why multifamily investing? So kind of want to give you the floor, and have you explain why anybody who currently isn't doing any kind of multifamily investing should, and from your experience working with your clients, what they could watch out for, maybe the features and benefits that can attract them into this particular strategy. So yeah.
Well, everyone has a different strategy, right? Whether it be fix and flips or owning different single-family residences that are going to be rentals, or they step up to multifam. I want to say it's not high level, but you're looking for the medium level investor and sometimes the entry level that's trying to level up. One strategy that I've seen for clients is they have multiple single-family residence rentals, but also think about it this way: you have 5 houses that you're renting. So you have 5 different tenants, and that's 5 set of different problems at times. So what a lot of people do is when they're ready to level up, so to speak, they sell their properties, do a 1031 exchange, and they get into multifam. It could be a 3-unit property, or it could be something like 5 to 15 units, depending on what they can afford and if the deal makes sense. And when I mean if it makes sense, you want to look at the cash flow. What is the current rents, what it can be if you do a little bit of value add, meaning doing some renovation, giving the property a facelift, making it, bringing it to market standards. And it all depends. The cash flow, where the property is located. And I would always recommend a landlord-friendly state and not a tenant-land-friendly state. Because, for example, during COVID, since we are in California, it is a tenant-friendly state. There were a lot of landlords that were not receiving rents for anywhere from 1 to 3 years, and the tenants were protected, and that affected investors. They still needed to make that mortgage payment if there was a mortgage on it, and they couldn't invest in other properties because the cash flow just automatically stopped. So when you're dealing with multifamily investing, you want to speak to the right lender and the right real estate professionals, and we have 2 great agents on today that's going to shed a lot of light on that.
Perfect. Okay, great. Well, hey, listen, so you know what, since you're here, I'm gonna well, one thing I'll say is the importance of really going into this analysis for people is that, like, if someone came to me and and said, let's just say I wasn't even a real estate professional, someone said, hey, you're from Boston, I'm looking at a 3-unit property in Cambridge, you think it's a good investment? I'd be like, absolutely. Yeah, everything I know about Cambridge is awesome. You know what I mean? And you think that's kind of crazy, but I also used to be a financial planner. When people got the opportunity to invest in certain things, they would look to their left, look to their right at work and say, hey, what are you investing in? What are you investing in? I'll do the same thing. So, oftentimes when people spend money, even millions of dollars on property, they don't seek out the professionals that they really need to seek out to make educated decisions. And that's the purpose of LEARNin Local Live. So let's without further ado, let's just start talking about our featured property of the week, and then we can bring on our guest subject matter experts to really go through that analysis. Okay, so our local opportunity of the week is 9092 Willow Street in Cambridge, Massachusetts. So Cambridge, if you're unfamiliar with Boston or if you've been living under a rock, Cambridge is where Harvard, where MIT is, where a lot of these great institutions that appear on many different programs or sitcoms or pop culture. But a lot of people know Cambridge, Massachusetts is a great area. And what we do today and on every broadcast is that we actually bring in professionals to talk about 3 things. They're going to talk about the local market, what you need to know about the local market. We're going to talk about the lending analysis, meaning like what kind of financing options are available for any investor to acquire the property. And third, we'll talk about the investment as a whole and why it's something that people should really invest in. So without further ado, let's bring on Charles to talk about Charles from EXP Realty to talk about this local market analysis of this property. Charles, please take it away.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. My name is Charles Santiago with the Santi Team EXP Realty in Cambridge. I am a Cambridge real estate salesperson here in the city, and I'm looking forward to sharing more about this great city and what we do really, really well here. As you guys know and you've heard, Cambridge is one of the top cities in the entire country that families want to relocate and move into. We have the best, obviously, school systems, as we mentioned, Harvard, MIT, biotechnology for people looking to work, educators. Everyone comes here for specific things, and we also have obviously some of the best hospitals in the area as well too. So obviously that means doctors, educators, professors, biotechnology. People moving in and out. So it's a very transient city. And as long as I've been in the city and long as I've lived here as well, I really do believe that this is one of the most forward-thinking cities around. And just to give you an example, currently right now, there's about 116,000 people currently living in Cambridge currently. And it's give and take, depending obviously on, the transitions of people moving in and out. But that means that the real estate market is very, very strong here. As anywhere else, pretty much in the country, properties are very, very, far and few in between. So there's very low inventory. So when something like this comes on the market, someone that's looking to either buy and hold or flip to something like this here, it's an amazing property in East Cambridge, not too far from Harvard Square, not too far from Central Square. Really, really awesome location with, after repair values. This definitely will do really, really well.
Perfect. So, just some follow-up questions, Charles. Let's just give us the basics, as I believe we had some graphics that we hadn't shown up here. Can you give us a quick overview?
Yeah, sure.
Of the property, how many units, square footage,
sure.
Things like that.
Sure. So it's a three family in East Cambridge, not too far from Cambridge Crossing and the North End, and then very close to the highways 93 North and South. So it's situated in an amazing location where, you can put people in there that will probably want to stay there for a long time just because of the location. Literally, there's a school across the street. There's a park right around the corner. There's a library right there. And then you obviously have so much access, in and out to all of the amenities you want. So if you're an investor that's looking to buy, you're going to definitely want to put some, people in there that are going to most likely want to stay there for a long period of time. And, my after repair value, I believe, is anywhere from like $3,000 and up, depending on what you put in there.
I'm sorry, what was the after repair value of
Sorry. I meant to say 3,000, between 3,000 and let's say 3,700 a month per unit. So right now there's, it's probably like a C minus C plus property. It has 3 decks each unit. It has a backyard. There's no parking there. And that's not surprising. It's obviously Cambridge. And it's very, very tight in that regards. However, there's a lot of, public transportation, easily accessible. And it's just, the location really is a selling point. There was something that was recently on the market that recently sold, and it was not even near the location that we're in.
Got it. Understood. Okay. And I know that you had talked about the after repair. What do you estimate in terms of the rehab amount required to get that market rent that you mentioned?
Sure. I would say, based off of my guesstimation, and I'm obviously not a contractor, but from what I've seen and walked through the property and what I think it would probably need, we're talking anywhere from like 100 to let's say 160, 170,000. That's including the roof, that's including the siding, the windows, all of the trim inside, updating everything there. There's currently 2 units that need a complete update haul, but there's a first floor unit that is basically all done, minus a few things here, appliances that are in need there.
Got it. Okay, perfect. All right. Well, hey, that gives a kind of a primer of the property. Let's continue on with the analysis. What do you?
Sure.
Unless Rafa, you have a question that you might want to you just that you might be wondering before we move on.
So currently, are these all like 1-in-1s or 2-in-1s?
Yes, I knew you were going to say that. So they're actually all 3-1s.
3-1s. Okay.
Yeah. So the square footage is 2724. So if you divide that obviously by 3, you're talking what, a little bit over 900 to 1,000 square feet each unit.
Okay. And what's
Something
the
like
current
that.
market rent for something like that in the neighborhood?
Well, I'm only going to give the ARV because currently right now it just needs a lot of work. But if you're asking what it would be in this condition, I would say it's not even worth discussing because it's not there yet. But obviously investors, they want to know what's the ARV, after repair value per unit. And we haven't even talked about, possibly condoizing it, right? Because that's also a possibility too. They've decided to condoize it, reorganize the living situation to kind of make it open, more expanded. We're obviously talking higher numbers. So that's also a possibility too.
Is there a benefit to making a condo or no? Because you have to bring in an HOA if you do something like that, correct?
Yeah, you do. And then I think you also have to have parking, right? So you'll have to figure out how to get like maybe if you can apply for a variance. And then I know the city of Cambridge is not super easy to do that. So they do push back. I've sat on a couple of board meetings, with the development team here in the city, and they actually, they're very forward thinking, and they also want to work with developers, but they're also not shy about charging people money. So,
Indeed, they're never shy.
They're not shy at all.
Okay, hey, well, let's move on. We can essentially ask some follow-up questions, but we're going to bring in another subject matter expert to discuss the lending opportunities. So, without further ado, want to bring on Lionetta to really kind of just break it down and just kind of show us or tell us, what would be required if an investor were to acquire this property. So Dan, without further ado, go ahead.
Hey, thank you very much. So a little history on me. I'm with Evolve Bank and Trust. Evolve Bank and Trust is a small bank based out of Memphis, Tennessee. And we actually lend nationally on a lot of properties like this. We're not a big employment company. We don't have 1,000 loan officers running around. What we do have is very astute, trained people that have been in the business a long time. So I've been lending in that market. I actually grew up in Arlington, Mass. Cut my teeth selling real estate in the market before making the move over to the mortgage business in 1988. So long time in that market. I remember doing units in that market when they were selling for $180,000. So been through a lot. But the one thing nice about Cambridge, and Charles, it's a win-win in Cambridge, is that during the dips in the market that I've been through in my lifetime, Cambridge has never lost. Cambridge has continuously gone up. It's stalled here and there, but it never lost value. If you did a 2-year, year-over-year search on properties selling in Cambridge, there was always an increase, never a decrease, including the big bubbles of 1989, 1995, and then of course 2007, when 2008, the fallout of 2007. But every area close to the Cambridge market actually lost money, but there was no value loss in Cambridge. It held strong. People just held on to their properties, didn't sell them, or people still were intrigued by the Cambridge market. So that's good to know. In addition to that, today obviously there is all kinds of financing available again. We went through the dips where we lost a lot of the momentum and financing, but today there's fixed rate, fixed term financing, there's adjustable rate financing, There are first and seconds involved to purchase with less of a down payment. There's literally everything available to finance today, as long as the property makes sense and the consumer, the borrower makes sense.
Got it. Okay. Well, maybe a question. If let's
Sure.
just say I was trying to house hack this thing, Dan, and I wanted to buy it to live in one unit and rent out the other 2 units. What kind of down payment? And maybe I've never bought a property before.
So if you're going to own or occupy the property, is that?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like
If you're going to own or occupy the property,
house hack strategy.
We could actually do this property in an FHA 203K, which means 3.5% down. So you could literally move into this property with 3.5% down. The loan limits in Cambridge on a 3-unit property are so high through the FHA that this would qualify, and you could actually do a owner occupied fix and repair at 3.5% down on the purchase.
Okay, and what rate would we be looking at for the 3.5?
In the low 7s today.
Got it.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we can absolutely get into more questioning about like what are the kind of lending parameters there is when we have more time. But before running out of time, what I absolutely would like to do is just go through one more type of analysis that I think would be helpful for anyone looking and watching this this live is as an investor, does it make any sense? So we're bringing on Henry Choi. Henry is a real estate broker, but also investor in the Boston area and other parts of the country. So Henry, if you can, you got the floor. If you want to talk about investing in this, and maybe if you were an investor, how you would look at it, that would certainly be helpful. Oh, Henry, you're on mute.
Hey, well, thanks, Ruben, for inviting me to the show. Thanks, guys. So my name is Henry Choi. At Your Boston Guy. I've been in Boston since 1993. I grew up in Lexington, currently living in Medford, Massachusetts, which is pretty much right next to Cambridge. I did 10 years of I was a director of human resource. I was an accounting manager. I was part of the U.S. Navy. Now I'm in real estate. So as Charles was saying, that Massachusetts has a lot of things going for them. If you look at Boston, like half the city's underwater. So we have very, very limited land here. And Cambridge is, as Dan mentioned, is a place that just does not drop in value. And I will continue elaborate that on just a little bit more. So we have all the universities. We have more direct flights coming in and out of Boston. We have the growing biotech. We have all the hospitals. And there's a constant demand that we just don't have space for. So Cambridge, I believe, is it's a great value. You're not going to lose money, but to me, the acquisition cost on those properties is a little bit higher. So I think how you would angle this property would be you will buy for the appreciation, and more of the cap rate is going to be a little bit lower. So I also invest out in Michigan. So I got 4 cash flowing units out there. Bought and sold probably 7, maybe half a dozen properties out there at 2x, 3x returns. Also holding on to 7 lots of land that I'm waiting to build on because I believe there's a lot of opportunity there. But let's see. Yeah, so I mean, I think far as like what you're saying about Cambridge, the 3plexes back in the days, you could have picked them up for, I think, just like around 800,000 or something like that. But talking with Charles yesterday, I was like, wow, you're putting this on the market at 1.8, like how times have changed. And I personally think if you were to acquire this property as a long-term hold, yes, you could probably definitely make a return of probably 3 to 4%. But I think the better option would be taking ownership of the property, probably live in one of the units, renovate the units as you go, and then after you're done with the leases, then condo them out and sell them unit by unit.
Got it.
Henry, can I ask I had a question. So when it comes to obviously you guys are both saying there's a lot of demand for property. There's not enough housing units. So for a property specific like this, a 3-unit, 3 bedrooms, 1 bath,
Mhm.
what would it, after we do the renovations, what would it rent for?
Well, depending on what kind of finishes you guys are trying to do there. I mean, there's a lot of access to Harvard University, MIT, great location.
We would bring it to market,
highway
whatever the
access.
market would demand in that neighborhood.
I think if it was nice luxury finishes on it, you could probably easily get 4,000 plus.
And in that specific area, was Cambridge landlord friendly or is it tenant friendly? And is there rent control?
So I can't comment on the rent control portion of it, but Massachusetts in general is a very tenant-friendly state, not to the extremes of California. I mean, the thing is also Cambridge has limitations on Airbnb ability. There's restrictions on that as well.
Interesting.
So this would be a better buy and hold, or just and lease it out to essentially tenants, or you can house hack it, live in one, and have a cash flow from the other.
Right, and I think as far as if this was my angle, I'll probably just as Dan said, get use a FHA for less than 4% down, acquire the property and renovate as you go as a long-term project. But I guess if you wanted a faster cash flow, then go in there, just renovate all 3 units, condo them out, and sell them individually. Because I think a condo in that particular area, you could probably get 1.2, 1.6, depending on how you finish it out.
And I just want to throw that out there because I know a lot of people were talking about house hacking and buying a house with a 3.5% down or even 5% if you go conventional. I want to let the viewers know that's only if you don't own any property that you don't live in, and this will be your primary residence. This wouldn't work if this was your second, third, or fourth property that you would own.
Certainly not. It would definitely not work that way.
Yeah. Just want to throw that out there because I see a lot of
TikTok
and Instagram and a lot of garbage on the internet, and definitely want to just educate people correctly. Like, this would be only if it's your primary residence, meaning you will occupy that property.
Absolutely. Thank you for that.
Yeah. So really quick, want to mention, I would like to mention, we were designed to go 30 minutes. I think the conversations have been good and we can continue to talk. But before we continue talking, I did want to give the team a chance, because the commonality between Charles, Dan, and Henry is that they are part of this organization that does great work. It's called Asian Real Estate Association of America. I was a previous board member and involved with them when I lived in Boston. Seems like so long ago. But what I'd like to do is bring it back to the team here and have them talk about. And Henry, since you are the current president of this group, I'd love to just have you share something about it that you think is worthwhile.
All right. Well, thank you, Ruben. Well, ARIA is the Asian Real Estate Association of America. We advocate for sustainable home ownership with the AAPI community. Just because it has Asian in it, it doesn't mean you have to be Asian to be part of it. As Dan Lionetta, I don't know how Asian he looks, but he's actually been part of the Boston board, and he also is the chapter president for Jacksonville a while ago. And what's great about this organization, we have 45 chapters nationally, and we have about 18,000 members, and that's also been growing. It's a great way to just network with just superstar agents, lenders, inspectors. Just a great way to just meet tons of people on the local level. But another thing is you could travel to any part of the country and pretty much have a local chapter there and just be like, hey, what's going on? Meet up, have some dinner, share a couple of drinks, discuss business. Lots of referral business that goes back and forth. And I joined this organization 7 years ago, thinking I'll probably stay for 1 or 2 years. But then 1 year, every May we go to Washington D.C. and we advocate for housing rights. So I'm there as just like a normal human being talking to senators, Congress folks, speakers of the House, talking about these policies that could be life-changing to so many people, and just gives us that leverage. I think, Charles, Dan, they probably have some other commentaries to make, but it's just so far
No,
has been an amazing organization.
Absolutely. Our time in Washington, our time local on the, in the local politicians here in Florida and in Boston, and trying to make change that helps people. It's very invigorating. But like Henry says, you have friends all over the country. You have business associates all over the country instantly by joining ARIA. Instantly. I can pick up the phone and call pretty much any state, any major city, and say, hey, I need some information, background information on, I'm doing a deal here. What do I need to know? What are the pitfalls? What's going to happen? And it's that kind of information is certainly worth the $99 a year membership.
Very good, very good. Rafa, I think you were part of ARIA in LA. Is that correct?
I went to a lot of their networking mixers, and yeah, everyone's like dead on. Like, it's really good networking, really high caliber real estate professionals and vendors, and it's almost like it's like learning in this aspect. You're getting connected with all the right people.
Perfect. Well, hey, I really appreciate you guys and everything that you guys are doing, not only for ARIA, but for the state of Massachusetts, for the city of Cambridge. Our goal is to really educate people. And when I say educate people, not just people who are living in homes looking to buy property, but educate people that, hey, you know what? The strength of the community and the growth of real estate and business development really is the people who are not just buying property to live in, they're starting businesses. If there wasn't businesses to be had, if there wasn't business and jobs to be had in any area, there would be no homes. First of all, let's get that straight. Yeah. But you guys are doing a great job on many different levels to help people, and we appreciate everything that you're doing, not only with ARIA, but with what you've done here. So I'm gonna say one last thank you. Thank you everyone who's been involved in today's show. We're currently in beta doing these productions, and thanks again to Charles, Dan, and Henry for volunteering and providing the information. But this property is real, and this property is available. So what we're going to do is curate content and send it off to you. If you are interested, you can email solutions@learninlocal.com. We'll send you all the analysis that we have on paper, and I know it might not necessarily be easy to follow, especially if you're a new investor, but we would be happy to guide you through. And at the same time, you could also reach out to any of the professionals that you saw today to get more information. So until next time, we'll have more properties for you if you're an investor looking to continue or start your real estate investment journey. Health is wealth, and I'm sorry, that's the wrong one. Your network is your net worth, and real estate is the clearest path to wealth. So have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much for being on.
Thank you for this.
Thank you, Ruben.